All right, so now we're going to start making our record command buffers function. We're going to loop through every swap chain image. We're going to call our vk begin command buffer function, and this is going to put us into the recording state. And for the sake of simplicity, we are not going to give the command buffer any info. All right, and then we're going to create our barrier with the vk command pipeline barrier. So what this is doing, it's basically telling the GPU to stop and finish what it was doing before it starts the next task. So we're going to set old layout to vk image layout undefined. Basically what we're saying here is we don't care about what was in the image before, and we're just going to overwrite whatever was there. Then we're going to set new layout to vk image layout color attachment optimal. And that basically tunes the image memories so that the GPU's rasterizer can write to it as fast as possible. And if you remember earlier, we did set a flag for image creation, which was VK image usage color attachment bit. And this VK image layout color attachment optimal is only valid for images created with the VK image usage color attachment bit. We set SRC Q family index and DST Q family index to VK Q family ignore, and that's because this is usually used for transferring ownership of an image between different queues. But we only have one queue, so we're going to set it to ignore. We give it our swap chain images, and our sub resource range, we set the aspect mask to VK image aspect color bit, which is just saying we're going to be using RGBA pixel data. We set the base MIP level to 0, level count to 1. And I already kind of explained this before. We're not really going to be using MIP maps or whatever. We set SRC axis mask to 0. Since the old layout was undefined, we don't need to wait for any specific previous memory access to finish. Then we set DST access mask to color attachment write bit. This tells the GPU make sure that any subsequent writes to the color attachment actually land in memory so the next stage can see them. The VK CMD pipeline barrier function tells the GPU when to execute a command. So the first argument we have is the command buffer, which is our recording buffers, and we set a recording buffer for the first argument. The second argument is the source stage, and we set this to VK pipeline stage top of pipe bit, which is saying that we're gonna execute this at the very first stage of this GPU. We're going to do this before anything else in the pipeline. This is saying we're not going to wait for any other previous commands to finish, and we're going to start this transition immediately. The next argument is the destination stage, which we set to color attachment output bit. This defines where this GPU must pause until the barrier is finished. The GPU will continue working on other things like vertex processing until it reaches the color attachment output stage, which is where pixels are actually being written to the image. When it reaches this stage, it will hang until the image layout transition to color attachment optimal is complete. For the fourth argument, which is going to be our dependency flags, we're going to have none. Fifth and sixth arguments, we're saying we have no P memory barriers arrays. For the seventh and eighth arguments, we're saying we have no P buffer memory barrier arrays. Then for the 9 and 10th arguments, we are supplying our VK image memory barrier struct. Keep in mind the life cycle of the image as you go through this code. Inside of our VK rendering attachment info struct, this struct describes one specific image that the GPU will draw into. In our case, we set the image view to the swap chain image views. An image in swap chain image views. We set image layout to VK image layout color attachment optimal. This is optimized for the GPU to write new colors or pixels. We're setting load OP to VK attach load OP clear, which is telling the GPU to clear everything before we start drawing. We set store OP to VK attach store OP. It tells the GPU that when we're done, save the pixels to memory so we can show them on the screen. Then we have our clear value, which is the color we're going to set the whole screen to whenever we're clearing the screen. In this case, we're going to set it to like a gray color. We have our red, green, blue, and alpha channels. We have our VK rendering info struct, which we give our rendering area, which defines the bounding box that we're going to draw in. We have the offset of 0, 0, which means we're going to start drawing at the top left of the screen. Width and height is the swap chain extent. We give it our color attachment struct. We call VK CMD begin rendering. This will allow us to record draw calls, bind pipelines, and set scissors or viewports. Whereas before, we could only record transfer commands, which would be something like copying memory, or only record barriers. We call VK CMD bind pipeline. We give it a VK pipeline bind point graphics, meaning we want the graphics part of the hardware to activate. So, that's the vertex and fragment shaders. We're going to set, so what we're doing is we're setting all of our settings in the VK pipeline object ahead of time. When you call the VK CMD bind pipeline, the GPU swaps its entire internal configuration in one extremely fast operation. We call VK CMD draw. We give it our command buffer. We say we have 3 vertices because, we're just drawing a triangle. We have 1 instance. Instancing is like clones of the same object. It'll like keep the same size and shape of the object, but might just have different coordinates or other small changes about it. We have our first vertice as 0, or first vertex is 0, and our first instance to 0 as well. So this first 0 we have in our arguments. Like I said before, it's going to describe the first vertex, which defines the value of the GL vertex index for the first vertex that we know when we had in our shader. We call VK CMD end rendering. This marks the end of the rendering instance. And a while back, we set store OP to VK attachment store OP store. So this is the part where you're actually saving the pixels when VK end rendering is executed. We'll set the barrier old layout to VK image layout color attachment optimal. That's what it was at. Then we'll set the new layout to VK image layout present source KHR, which is saying we're ready to display the image. We set SRC axis mask to VK axis color attachment write bit, which tells Vulkan to wait for the previous write operation, the drawing of the triangle, to actually finish and flush out of the GPU's local caches. Then we set the destination axis mask to 0 because the presentation engine is not part of the standard Vulkan graphics pipeline. Now we call VK CMD pipeline barrier a second time. And this second time calls for the completion of the barrier. We have the second argument as the source for the stage mask and the third argument as the destination for the stage mask. So in our source stage, or the second argument, we set it to color attachment output bit. This is the wait stage. It tells the GPU to wait until all the drawing work, specifically the writing of the pixels, is 100% finished. Then we have the destination stage, which we set to pipeline stage bottom of pipe bit. This is the wait at stage, which is at the very end of the GPU's pipeline. It essentially means the command buffers cannot be considered finished until the pipeline barrier is complete. We set everything else to 0 or null and then give it our barrier struct. Finally, we call VK end command buffer, which is going to transition the command buffer from the recording state to the executable state. I'm going to call our record command buffers function above the while loop, and then in the while loop, I'm going to call a draw frame function, which we haven't wrote yet, but I'll get to. We also make sure to add a VK device wait idle after the while loop. We do this so that the GPU can finish every single command before we start destroying and freeing everything. In our draw frame function, we have a image index variable. We call VK acquire next image kchar. It gives us the currently available back buffer that we can write on, which is going to be set as this image index variable. uint64 max is telling the CPU to wait forever until an image becomes available. So the third argument really just waits a certain number of nanoseconds before it times out if no image is available. We call VKQ submit, which puts the command buffer in the pending state. We call VKQ submit, which puts the command buffer in the pending state. While it's in the pending state, the buffer is locked. You can't modify it. And the GPU is now going to actively be reading from this buffer, or is waiting in a hardware queue to do so. We're going to call VKQ waiting idle to wait for all the command buffers to finish again. And then we're going to call VKQ present kchar to present our image. Let's build and run. And we have our triangle.